¡Despierta!
Ralph, ¿qué pasa? ¿Te ocurre algo?
Carga las baterías y ponte tu vestido de los domingos, guapa, porque nos vamos pitando!
From the first movie, that the scope of it is much bigger. That the first movie was more nostalgic, I think, for games that we loved growing up. It all took place in an arcade, and it had some great worlds that they visited, but it was a little bit limited to just like what could be in an arcade. It would be hard to talk about like contemporary things like online gaming, internet culture. So having the ability to take them kind of from the past, like into the present, is a huge leap forward, I think, for these characters and for this world. We didn't want to do just another love letter to arcades and to Pac-Man and to those classic games, which we love, you know, but it feels like that was the first movie. This movie is about the big city, you know, this is about the big city of the internet meeting citizens from the little town of the arcade going there, you know, to try and repair their way of life.
Señoras y señores, os presento Internet!
I mean, the conceiving of what the internet was going to look like was hugely challenging because the big idea of they're going to go to the internet was very exciting to us, but then what does it look like? How does it work? Who are the people that live there? What do websites look like? What is the operating metaphor? Became daunting. I mean, because really there aren't examples of what the internet looks like on film, you know? So that part was the biggest challenge, I would say, beyond figuring out the simple story, which was an even bigger challenge, but the rules of the internet, how we distinguish human beings, the little block-headed users versus the citizens of the internet, all of that took, you know, months and months and months of research and conversations and banging our head against the wall to finally make sense of it.
Bienvenido a la barra de búsqueda. ¿Qué puedo ayudarte a encontrar? ¿Anillos? ¿Aluminio? ¿Avión?
No.
¿Normandía? ¿Nostradamus? ¿Notre Dame? ¿Ñoño? ¿Ñiquiñaque? ¿Ñandú?
The visual aspect, definitely. We could not have made this movie as it is today back in 2012 when the first one came out. Our software just, the computers would still be rendering it right now. It would take forever to actually finish it, and we could not put this much information on the screen using the old software that we had. It was around the time of Big Hero 6, you know, that we updated our software. And we knew if we were going to make a movie about the internet, it had to be much bigger in scope. There are, how many different characters do we have?
480 something.
Something unique characters with almost 100 speaking parts. And there are some shots in this movie that literally have up to 1 million extras in the background. And if you were able to go up to the screen and kind of enlarge it and, you know, zoom in on those extras, they're not like little stand-in. We would have to do very, in the past, very simplified versions of the characters, which is not the case anymore. You could zoom in on their expressions, see what they look like, you could see their clothes, you could see the texture of the fabric that they're wearing, which is insane, you know, to think that there is that much detail in each frame of this movie. It would have been absolutely impossible to do in 2012.
¡Hola! ¡Esperad! ¡Yo también soy una princesa, chicas! ¿Y qué clase de princesa eres?
When you're making a sequel, you always realize you're going to have to bring in some new characters, but they got to be the right kind of characters to bring into it. So we do have the Gal Gadot character, which is Shank, and she's part of this online racing game that Penelope goes into, and she falls in love with this world because it's exciting and thrilling, more exciting and thrilling than her arcade game of Sugar Rush. And then we have Yes, who's an algorithm at a website called BuzzTube. It's sort of like BuzzFeed meets YouTube, and it's a social media video sharing site, and she knows what's cool, what's trendy, what's now, now, and Ralph is going to go into that world and sort of explore the idea of viral videos, so we can explore that idea within the internet. But one of the fun moments is when we meet the Disney princesses, and really the interesting thing about that idea was it was from the very beginning of the film, and it's rare that an idea in the beginning of the film all the way back in 2013 is still in the movie today. Usually our stories evolve and those ideas fall away, but there was something really exciting about thinking if Penelope met the other princesses, what would that actually be like? And there was a great opportunity for comedy, but also a great opportunity to kind of have us bring all of these princesses together in a very modern way.
¿Tienes pelo mágico? No.
¿Manos mágicas?
No.
¿Los animales te hablan?
No.
¿Has sido envenenada?
No.
¿Maldecida?
No.
¿Secuestrada o esclavizada?
No, ¿estáis bien? Voy llamando a la policía.
Well, it'll be interesting to see, when we first developed the idea, I think we never thought about it that way. We really thought about it just being this unique element within the film, but seeing the audience's reaction to seeing all these characters together has really opened our eyes to the potential possibilities. So it'll be interesting to see if someone can come up with the right idea that would still entertain the audience.
Princesas y personajes de dibujos, foto.
Hola.
¡Hola! ¡Qué guay!
Acompáñanos, niña.
Beyond viruses and nasty people who are trying to inflict pain on other people, I think paying too much attention to what is being said about you is dangerous. And I actually think being on the phone constantly and being constantly updated on the news is not that healthy, because the news cycle now is changing every 30 seconds, and I think we're becoming bombarded with things that aren't necessarily important in the big picture. So I think our anxiety is ramped up because we're constantly paying, oh my God, that happened? That happened? Did you hear this? This happened? As opposed to just living your life and then checking the news a couple times a day. I think the bad news is seeping in and affecting people's moods in a way that isn't terribly healthy.
¡Es una princesa!
Make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger. Never over.